What up people, how's it going? This is Bharat here. Welcome back to yet another video. As you can see behind me, the setup is new. The entire test setup is changed. If you're following me from 2019, you for sure know that I did not have that monitor back then. I actually do not have a dual setup now. So it's just one setup, one single monitor, one big 32-inch monitor, and all of those things are actually set up right now. The main reason being that I wanted to be a little bit more productive in 2020. So this video is going to be towards that as well. So how do you become a really productive programmer in 2020? That's what this video is going to tell you guys about. A lot of tips coming up right in this video. Make sure to watch it till the end. Also, if you're new to this channel and do not know what I'm doing, make sure to check out the entire thing in my channel. All those videos out, all the programming videos out, and then come back here, watch this entire video, and also don't forget to smash the subscribe button. That's right down below. So do that. Let's get straight into this video. Alright, to begin with, something that I've followed for the last 4 months. This is starting from 2019 of August. I just wrote a lot of things. I started writing down what I wanted to do on everyday basis. Throughout the year of 2019, I started YouTube around the January of 2019, and I did not see it very much in terms of being really taking up so much of my time. So when I went into this August and September, it started taking so much of my time, and also I had to work and I come back and do all these things. So I started organizing things little bit by bit, and it was really effective for me. So I just started the morning with something that was in the list. I went on to do that things and then work, come back and do the things again. And that way I was actually becoming much more productive, and that's going to be my number one tip for this video as well. Make sure you organize your things. It need not be something that you write down on an everyday basis. It could be with respect to whatever you want to do as a task in programming terms in your mind, or it could even be a simple sprint board, or you could have a simple Jira board that you are following in your team, or even if you don't do that, just a simple Excel will do. Just a simple Excel of what are the tasks you have for the day or what are the tasks you have for the week. Just make sure that you organize them one by one. You need not worry about the priority, just organize them. Just make sure that you have a time for everything, and that just does wonders for you. That did do wonders for me till now. So I'm going to be following that very much in the terms of 2020. Make sure that you do that as well. Alright, the second tip that I found out was that this was something very new. I found that just 15 days ago was this new technique called as the Eisenhower matrix. This is actually some form of a physics and a mathematical term, where this matrix does is that it's going to organize what is required and what is not required in just 4 simple squares. As you can see, there are actually going to be 4 different words that you want to make sure that your tasks fall into. The first one is the do, the next one is the decide, third is delegate, and the fourth quadrant is going to be the delete one. So as you see, the left one is going to be the definitely you should do tasks, and the one on the right quadrant is going to be about something that you need not worry about. So when you actually organize your tasks in these 4 quadrants, you can see that your time is actually freed up a lot. You become very much more productive. In terms of if you are actually programming as you are a full-time programmer like me, I actually do this one more in terms of a mental one, and sometimes if the task is too much, I kind of write it down as well. You'll be amazed to see how much of work you can delegate and how much of work you just delete if you just put those tasks into those 4 quadrants. If you're not really sure, make sure that you put it into decide and discuss with your team members, or maybe discuss with your manager. All of those things can happen. But when you just organize your tasks into these 4 quadrants, you can see that your priorities are very clear, and you just start to become really more productive in terms of completing those things out and also delivering on time. So that's what is going to be a very important term for any programmer. So do that, because that's what I've been following for the last 20 days. Third tip is technically more of a productive hack. I'm not a very clean person. Maybe I'm a little bit clean in terms of taking care of my body and everything, but in terms of my desks, I'm not really a clean person, because I don't worry much about what is behind me or what is around me or what is around my desks. But as you can see, in my desk, I've just done a lot of work to make sure that it is as clean as possible. Maybe it is not right now, even though it is not. I just done a lot of work to remove things that are not going to be useful for me. In terms of my speaker, I removed my speaker out. I removed my unnecessary batteries or lights that I didn't want to. Just make sure that things are clean, and that's what I wanted to follow in my workplace as well. So when you are actually having a clean environment, it's making sure that you are concentrating more on your work and getting distracted less. So that's what I found out to be very useful as a programmer again. But this is more of a productive hack that you can follow in any job you are in. So make sure you do that as well. All right, this tip is going to be really crazy to hear. Previously in my lot of videos, as you can see, I did have a dual monitor setup, but this dual monitor was very small in terms of one was a 23-inch and another was a 19-inch monitor, which did not get a lot of work done for me. It was really hard to focus. So what I did was I tried out this dual monitor setup back in my workplace, and it worked really great for me. So I wanted to replicate that as well, but again I was limited in terms of space, so I just went out for this 32-inch monitor, as you can see behind me, which is actually doing a lot of work for me right now. So I bought this monitor on the 1st of January. I've been working with it for just 3 to 4 days, and I'm just feeling a little bit more in terms of the work that is getting done. Maybe it's because that I have got a new monitor and I'm trying to make a lot of work. Trying to get a lot of work done, but I don't know about that. But with respect to the dual monitor setup that I have at my workplace, couple of months, I've been trying it for 3 months now, and I can see a lot of improvement, significant improvement in how much I'm getting my work done faster. So the idea behind the dual monitor setup is that a lot of people do talk about dual monitor setup is that because even though it looks like you're faking your work or you are acting as if you're having a lot of work done by having dual monitor, it does have an impact on your subconscious mind. You do get a lot of work done because you're actually thinking that I'm technically faking amongst my peers, but so I should definitely do my work. Maybe this is not a correct way to do your work, but over a period of time you get that urgency, you get that work doing nature where you know that your tasks are cut out, and with the dual monitor setup your concentration is on your work, and you program much faster, you program much efficiently as well. And that's what I found out with having dual monitor setup in my workplace and this big ass monitor behind me. So yeah, make sure you may invest in some things like this, but if you do not have one, you can still follow something like this. Like have a small laptop here, it's a 16-inch MacBook Pro and a simple desktop, which would still do the work for you. So that will be my 4th tip, or whatever tip number it is. Alright, the next tip is that I've been following this for a very long time and it's been very efficient for me. Sometimes I do not get to complete that, but in a lot of times what I do is that I get to do a 90-minute or say a 60-minute distraction-free power pack session where I just do not want any form of distraction. I put my phone in silent mode, I put my phone in flight mode, or I just get the work done with the 60 minutes or 90 minutes, whatever power pack session I have. I set an alarm in my phone, right? I have my phone right here, so I just set up a simple alarm that would say that just 1 hour from now, as soon as I know what a task I'm going to do for that 1 hour, and when I get into the work doing that power pack session, put my phone in silent mode, just concentrate on whatever you have. You find that 1 hour is very much enough to push you to complete your tasks. So a lot of times what happens is that you could complete your everyday tasks, your everyday work in, let's say, less than 5 hours. This is something that you definitely understand. You definitely agree with me as well. If you're a programmer, you get your work done, you can do your work much faster if you do not have any form of distraction. Programming itself is more of a mental task, so you do a lot of work mentally rather than physically. So when you think about a lot of things, your mind gets distracted away, your mind is not able to focus. So when in that case you tend to extend your work from say 5 hour to 8 hour, 9 hour work hours, which is something that you can still avoid if you are doing this power pack session formula. So I might not actually be following this on an everyday basis, but I do get distracted. It's not like I'm a distraction free guy. In the 60 minutes I might check my phone a couple of times, or I may even go check some my mail out, or go check my YouTube out in my desktop as well or my laptop as well. But that's not a problem. The idea is that you are actually committing to the 60 minutes of distraction free work, and you do get your work done much faster if you do that way. So that's what I follow at work, and I want you guys to follow that as well. Alright, so coming to the next one, the question that has been asked for a long time is, listening to music during your workout is going to be very effective, or is it just a distraction? This is technically a personal question, because with me music does have some impact on my concentration, because sometimes if I listen to my favorite playlist, I do get distracted. I start singing the song in my head, and that's going to be a lot of distraction. But what I follow is that I do not listen to a song that I know very well, but I also listen to the instrumental version of that song. You might not find that song in an instrumental version at all, but something that is going to be working for you is that try to not listen to your favorite playlist every day. So every day you put your music on, do not try to listen to the same song every day, because after some point it's going to bore your mind, and boredom in your mind is also going to reflect directly on your work. So programming, again, told you, is a very mental thing. you might not even have the full concentration to do that work, and you need to be in that zone to actually start putting your code out. Music again is more of a mental one, like you listen to your music and your mind perceives that and it actually sends out the signal, so that's the biology. But if you do listen to something that is going to be calming your mind, or that's not so much of a distraction, that's going to be of very much help, because like I told you, I do not listen to my favorite playlist almost on an everyday basis. It's just that I just skip music, I just put it on a random note, random music out, and I listen to mostly instrumental versions, because lyrics, again, if there is lyrics in a song, I start singing that in my head and I get distracted. But again, it's personal, you can follow whatever you want to. Music is great, but make sure that you do not overdo that part. Alright, this last one that I want to discuss about was something you guys might not maybe agree with me, but I find that starting your work day, say an hour before you have your lunch, or say an hour and a half before you have your lunch, is a great way to start your day with respect to starting to write code. This is primarily because what I follow is that I have a schedule of 11 to 11:30 working start of work hour. You might be having a work say starting at 10 o'clock in the morning or 9:30 in the morning. That would actually make you think about your lunch. Your lunch is actually going to be around 3 hours from then. But in terms of me actually choosing a work hour like 11 o'clock is because I check my mail from 10:30 to 11 and I start my work around 11 o'clock. And that 1 hour before lunch, or the 1.5 hours before lunch, is actually very much of an enduring time where you do not think about, you are not hungry, you are not distracted physically, your muscle is fine, your mind is fine, your mind is also calm, it's also fresh in the morning. And that's when I do my most difficult tasks. So I just get my most difficult task done right in the morning, in that 1 hour before lunch, and I'm very much set for the day. So I go on about the day without having to worry about that task being done. Even if I do not complete the task, I would just keep that out aside, think about my other easy ones and start mixing things up. So that's been working out for me. But the important one is to start your work day, say an hour and a half or 2 hours before you have your lunch, because that's going to give you that cushion to start your productive programming day with a bang. Alright, I've taken so much of your time and also given you a lot of tips. If you guys find that helpful, make sure to like the video and also drop down your most favorite tip in the comment section, so that everybody who's watching this video can still grasp that and try to impart that in everyday life. I would be very much thrilled to know what other tips that you guys have, because I am open to all these programming tips and programming productive tips, because I'm trying to become a much more productive programmer in 2020. Come on, everybody is awesome. So let me meet in the next video, something very cool, something interesting again. Until then, peace out. Have a super awesome day.